Holy cow, it is 9 o'clock once again, and it's another Saturday. Yes, that means it's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Good morning, everybody. Spring's been, spring's gone. It's now time to settle in for winter. It feels it's a bit nippy on the boat today, but that doesn't get in the way of magic reviews. And first up, we have Three Gods Assembly by Daxien the Illusionist and Hanson, Chien. I got this in really because I'm a big fan of Benson bowls, and I do like the cups and balls, but I'm very, very tired of seeing the same old worn out routine. You display 2 wooden bowls and 3 grey balls. You put a ball under each bowl and 1 in your hand. You ask the participants where they are, and inevitably they are wrong. You then say you're going to do it a little bit slower. You repeat the process, but this time with a lot of participant interaction and fun. You match where they want the balls to go magically and in an amazing manner. And then finally, you say that they're going to have a go at doing it themselves, and you make the balls appear in their hands. I think it's a lovely take on the cups and balls, and it does give you more material of where to go to. If you've ever seen anyone performing the cups and balls, it's inevitably some form of Divergence routine, perhaps with a little bit of Gazzo thrown in, who really popularised the cups and balls on the street. And it's been done like that, and I think this got stuck into people's heads that is how it has to be done. What Daxien's done is changed it from 3 cups to 2 Benson bowls, actually. So we'll come back to Roy Benson, but he had a bowl routine with sponge balls published in the Phoenix back in 1948. And with 2 of those and these balls, you've changed the routine somewhat. It still has that essential feel of the cups and balls, but it's very different. And what Daxien is really, really keen on is the audience participation, your interaction with the members of the audience, the person who's saying where the balls want to be, where they want them to be, or where they should be, or where they think they are, and getting a lot of comedy and humour out of it in that way. So it's quite a jazzy routine. Fortunately, there are really only 2 moves that you need to know. And one of them is a retention vanish, which with a sponge ball is incredibly easy. And one of them is just how to load the ball into the cups. And the cups help with that really, really well. And then Daxien just runs through the routine, all phases of it. The first phase, which is a more or less a cups and balls routine or a Benson bowl routine. And then he talks a lot about the question phase of where you ask your participants where they think the balls are and how to handle that, how to be friendly with it, how to get humour out of it, and so on. And that is a really, really nice section, and it really encourages you to play around. Well, let me show you the bowls, because I was very pleasantly surprised with these. They are nice. They're not desperately heavy. I don't know quite what they're made of. I'm assuming they're wood, but it's quite a light wood, but they look beautiful. But it's quite hard to find a good Benson bowl, to be honest. And what really is missing is the lip quite often. And this lip here really helps with the bowl turning over and getting a good grip on the bowl, and it being very natural when you load the Benson bowl. So that is, I mean, it's a perfect design. What is a bit of a shame is that quite often there's a recess at the bottom of these bowls, and that's quite handy if you want to hide a load or something under them sometimes, but not a big deal. Just if you know any Benson bowl routines that do use that recess, these haven't got them. And then you've got the balls, and they're not red as traditionally. You can use your own sponge balls if you wanted to. If these aren't to your liking, you can use any sponge ball if you like. They're quite firm foam, and they've got a flat bottom so they don't roll off the table, which is quite a nice touch. And actually Daxien cuts his with a bit of scissors to rough up the edges and perhaps to make them look more like stone or just ripped up pieces of rubber. But there you go. So they're more, they're sort of cross between, the therm foam. They're not as soft as sponge balls are by any stretch of the imagination. The teaching is incredibly in depth. The tutorial is over an hour long. Daxien and Hanson, there's a bit where he uses transparent bowls so you can see exactly what's going on and the timing of it all. And he talks a lot about the psychology of it all as well. And so, for example, once you've loaded the cup, don't turn over to reveal how many are under that cup until you've revealed that it's vanished from the other one. And that just adds the timing, and it just makes everything more powerful, more sense, and is much more deceptive. So really nice thinking on it. What you don't get is the wand, but there's a nice bit at the start where Daxien just goes, look, I've just used a stick before, and Hanson says, oh, that's a particularly nice stick. I've got to the age where I keep sticks just in case I need to stir some paint at any point. So anything that you like that is long and stick-like and wandish should be fine. You can use a fork if you're at a dinner table, for example. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be a purpose-built magic wand. Anything that you can put into your hand, it works in the same misdirection way as if you were doing the cups and balls. And that's it, really. The final phase, where it's in their hands, is very sponge ballish. So you probably already know exactly how to do that and just how powerful that is. That is the bit of a sponge ball routine that really hits home, and it's a great finale for this. Also, if you do know any Benson bowl routines, you can go on to just do something with just one ball if you want. So you can throw in some extra phases if you like. And to help you with that, actually, I forgot to mention that they do actually give you 5 of these, so you can have some loads. You can go to your pocket if you want to, or whatever it is, and you can load extras and be further ahead than if you just had the 3. I really like the routine taught. So it's quite classic choreography, but the jazzed phases really appeal to me as well. The teaching is excellent. Sometimes in the routine you are so far ahead that it is completely mystified and impossible for your spectators to backtrack. The bowls and the balls are perfect and really, really well made. It does all come at a bit of a price, though. That is Three Gods Assembly by Daxien the Illusionist and Hanson Chien, $139.99. Next up, it's Corner Piece by Sean Ridgeway and Steve Langston. I don't know quite when they released this, or this possibly a re-release. It seems familiar to me. I probably should have done a bit more research, but it is a version of Torn and Restored card. You have a card freely selected and signed. You take it back, you rip it up into quarters, and you then visually piece it back together bit by bit. And the final bit you can actually attach slightly off kilter and tap down. You can then hand out the signed card to your participant as a souvenir. Torn and Restored cards, that plot has been around for a very, very long time. This has a lot of advantages over almost all of them, I think. The card is freely selected, it is signed, you can hand it out afterwards, and there's no preparation of that card at all. It's all done by the gimmicks hidden inside this little tin. And the tin helps as well with some other extra routines, if you like, and even perhaps the ditching of the gimmick. I can't really show you the gimmicks, can I? But they don't fill that tin, and it's sort of one gimmick in 2 pieces, basically, and that enables you to perform that Torn and Restored card with any card that you wish. What I can tell you is that it is a red rider back card, so if you do it with another deck of cards, it isn't going to look that good. The tutorial is a whopping 2.5 hours long, and I'm not sure quite why. There's a lot of added routines towards the end that I don't think are completely necessary. This is the trick, really, is restoring the card. You can do that at the end of a card routine if you wish, impromptu or any card routine. You can do it as a mentalism routine. They do teach all of these things of doing it from a thought of card and so on. That's fine. That's up to your imagination. But really, you know, have a card signed, do a card trick, and then take the card back, rip it up, restore it, and then hand it out. That, to me, is the purpose of this. It's all about the cunning restoration. And I really like this restoration. It looks super, super clean. Angle wise, you don't want anyone behind you. You've got that sort of 180 cut-off point, which is very common with most torn and restored cards. It's nice you don't have to force it. It's nice there's no preparation. And I love the little tap down bit at the end of the final piece. And then there's a small little cleanup before you hand it out. You get Steve Langston's handling first. His utilizes a pocket where you just put a couple of pieces into your pocket whilst you restore two. In many ways that has an advantage. I think it's slightly easier than Sean Ridgeway's version, which comes up next, that doesn't use a pocket. And I don't know whether using the pocket is all that sus. To be honest, you're still restoring a card. You're still putting the pieces back together again. What going into your pocket would help you? I'm not sure a spectator would be thinking along those lines. And really, it's all about finger placement. It's a knack. It's a knack, but it is easy to learn. Just practice it in front of the mirror. You'll have a lot of fun learning it, and you should pick it up really fairly quickly. It isn't difficult by any stretch of the imagination, certainly in comparison to other Reformation routines. This is one of the easiest. And once you've mastered that restoration, the world is your oyster. So they do teach other routines. They do teach charming card, I think it's called, which is the mentalism effect of a thought of card. Then there's indicator card, where you take have someone think of a card. You take this card out of the tin, you rip it into 4 pieces, and as you're putting it together, each piece lets you reveal a part of their card that they're thinking of, the suit and the value and so on. And then you turn it over, and that is their card they're thinking of. It's a nice version of the plot, and uses the tin, as does the next trick, which is called corner piece paradox, I think, based on an old Michael Vincent idea, very different to Michael Vincent. And all of these routines often require you to making little extra gimmicks, or using the tin, and perhaps even finding duplicate tins. It's up to you if you want to go that far into it. It's a cracking, highly visual, not too difficult to do, torn and restored card, with a 2.5-hour tutorial, which is pretty much designed to feed your imagination and to just slip this in to any routine. It's very easy to carry around. That is Corner Piece by Sean Ridgeway and Steve Langston, $27.99. Next up, it's Prophekey by Paul Fowler. This was the big Murphy's release of the last week or so, and it is essentially a card reveal using your keys. You have your participants think of a card, or perhaps even select a card, and then you show using your door keys that if you align 2 keys up, they will actually show the value and suit of the card they are thinking of. The idea behind this is to have an everyday carry card reveal when you don't actually need a deck of cards on you. The main forcing way, or the main way of getting someone to think of a card, is using your phone, going to a website on your phone, and then you can do the reveal using the keys, which is very, very handy, particularly if you like, you know, if you mime not having anything on you and feeling a little bit caught out. You can really play on the idea of just having your keys in your phone. It's a very nice idea, and let me show you the keys. You actually receive more keys than you were probably expecting, which is great, which is really, really nice. So you get the keys that are part of the reveal. So you also get some blank keys. So you get a blank silver and a blank brass key. When I first saw them, I thought there was something a little bit odd. They feel a little light for me as a key. But that was sort of my very initial impression. After playing with them, I sort of completely forgot, and they just literally became keys. So nothing really to worry about at all. And they'll be on your keyring or whatever. So chances are your participant isn't really handling these that much. So there you go. That's the card reveal. That will be the 4, won't it? So if I do that, I don't know if that shows up. There you go. And that's the brass uncut one. And then you have this one too. There you go. That probably shows up. Okay, so that is the reveals and how they work. Very nice, very simple. The tutorial is by Javier. He goes into great detail, possibly more detail than you ever need, full of tips to remembering which one to put where and how to hold them. But really, it's pretty easy once you've performed it once, or just rehearsed it a couple of times. There's not very much to learn. There are very few sleights unless you go into some other routines. But how to carry these was part of, there's like 2.5 minutes on just how to put these onto a keyring, or which keyring you need. What you really want is a keyring that you can take these off quickly and easily. So any of those magnetic locking ones and so on, similar as if you were using any other key effect. The reveals themselves are very straightforward to do. As you can see, it's just a matter of holding the keys next to each other in one hand. If you want to use the way Paul Fowler does it, there is a website, the random card generating website that you can have your participant use until they settle on a playing card, and that is one of the cards that reveals. Or you can use any other forcing method of a card that you like, even a deck of cards if you happen to have one. But I mean, I wouldn't use Digital Force Bag. It seems odd to have a list of playing cards in Digital Force Bag, but Michael O'Brien in his Final Destination has something. There's Jeff Brace's random card generator, or you can use Belichick's Psychological Subtleties and so on. All of this is mentioned in the tutorial. They don't go into those other methods, obviously, because they don't have priority over them. Personally, I really appreciated actually the simplicity and the clarity of the card generating website that actually comes with this. I thought it was just perfect and did exactly all it needed to do, and was just very easy to use and understand at the drop of a hat. The blank keys are really a bit of a bonus for if you want to use them. The idea being that you could put them into your participants' hands, have them choose a card. Then when they open their hands, they'd have the reveal keys in their hands. Obviously, that would involve a switch of some sort. Javier runs through various methods of doing it. I do like the idea of the keys cutting and changing into their card quite a lot. I think that adds a bit of magic, a lot of magic really, to this. Stops it perhaps being slightly so caught by surprise with nothing on you feel, unless you just happen to have some blanks. I don't know, maybe you do. Maybe you could come up with a ruse, a story as to why. But I do like that. If you're happy doing a parcel, you've got any other form of switching device on you as well. It's a quirky, easy card reveal that you don't need a deck of cards for. They are easy to carry around. The keys do look perfectly innocent. If you put them on the table, they're not going to attract any attention until you need to show the reveal. It's great that you get 2 different values as well. I think for me, it just feels it's a bit of a shame it comes down to cards. I know there have been other reveals using keys, Celebrity by Matthew Wright and Jamie Williams, for example. Those keys look pretty odd, but they're quite innocent when you put them into someone's hands. But when you open them, they do look very weird. And they reveal superheroes or cartoon characters. I think this really I don't know. I just wish perhaps there was something else other than cards. It seems a shame to use keys and your phone and everything else, and it still comes down to playing cards. It is a genuine, easy to carry, everyday carry that is pretty much self-working. That is Prophekey by Paul Fowler, £30, 50p. Finally, we have Ozone by Hanson, Chien. This is quirky, fun magic. You blow up a balloon and you don't tie a knot in it. You're going to let go of it and watch it fly around the room. But when you let go, it just stays there. The air just stays inside the balloon. And at your will or your command, the balloon will then just deflate. It's a really fun off the wall effect. You can do it with someone, so you can have your friend blow up a balloon and say you're going to let them fly around the room. His will fly around the room, yours will just stay there. He can look down the nozzle, if that's what they're called. Are they called nozzles? Yeah, they must be. You can look inside the balloon. There is nothing to see. It is a cracking effect, and I had no idea how it was done actually until I opened the box and saw the gimmicks. So let me show you what you get. So what you get are 10 centimeter balloons, really. The only real secret is to these is that they've got to be opaque. You don't want them to go transparent because that would give the secret away. You could probably still hide it if you really had to, if it was all you had, but ideally just opaque balloons. These are red, which is nice, stand out if you're on stage, stand out against most clothing as well, and also when they fly around the room, that'll be nice and visual if they're red. So that's great, and that's it really. Apart from the gimmicks, you actually get two of the gimmicks. You're only ever going to need one unless you lose the other, so that's quite nice. The gimmicks are specifically made for well, actually for these balloons, but I think any 10 centimeter balloon will probably work. I can't imagine they changed that much, and it's really easy to do. You sort of set it up in advance, and then you just go straight into it. The tutorial is 20 minutes long. It is dubbed, but dubbed pretty well. I find dubbing makes me laugh. I don't know why. And there is a basic handling and an advanced handling as well. Neither are difficult. I know it uses the word advanced, but there's nothing to it really. But in the advanced handling, or the advanced routine, I suppose is what you'd call it, you can blow up the balloon, have the air stay inside of it. You can then just tie a knot and hand it out and give it away. It's really good. Being able to see inside the balloon is brilliant. The way it deflates on your command is also terrific. And I mean, I would do it with another participant and then have their balloon fly around the room and yours just stay there. I think there's great comedy value in that. It's just one of those effects that appeals to me. It's very quirky. It's novel. And it sort of just bends the human laws of nature and what we expect. And it is super clean, and just so easy to do as well. I've had a lot of fun with it. That is Ozone by Hanson, Chien, 1999.
He shouldn't have jumped. The show's not that bad.
And that's it for this week, I'm afraid. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then do subscribe and share it if you want to inflict it on any of your friends. But otherwise, come on, until next week, let's grab some magic, go out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.